When I tore down the Scotty Sportsman, most of them come with this Humphrey gas lamp. This goes right over the dinette on that cabinet that's right there. It has this little deal right here that the gas goes through, and it kind of slopes down, so it built this with that little edge on it. So the first thing we want to do is take that out. This is the mechanism that controlled the gas. We don't need that anymore. We're going to put a pull chain on it. So you want to be very careful with this glass. It's not that easy to find, and it is original. And it says Humphrey right there. So we're going to push those together, pull that out, set it off to the side carefully. The next step that we want to do is we want to take out this mantle. And it just kind of unscrews out. That's where they would have originally have put like a little sock on there, and then the gas comes through, you light that sock, and it burns and it puts out the light. We don't need that anymore either, so that goes on our junk pile. So what we do need is to take this ceiling fan lamp holder, and we're gonna take the wiring through the old gas port. But to make that happen, we're gonna have to put this in here first so that we can pull it through. So we're going to take just a little bit of black electrical tape here. And tape these together so that they stay strong. It's got to make a 90-degree turn. We don't want to lose it halfway through. So now all we have to do is just pull our red wire, and that pulls everything through and out the bottom. Now, we've got to make this lamp holder stick to right here. Easiest way for me is to take some epoxy stick, whatever kind you like to use. So I'm going to take a little bit of that, cut that off, remove this plastic. Now, it's gray with that white in between. These have to mix together. Once they mix together, it makes the epoxy activate. So as soon as I can get this from gray and white to light gray, all one color, all the way through, then it will have about 5 to 10 minutes of workability. And after that, it turns into a very, very hard surface, and you're not going to take it out. You're going to have to cut it out with a chisel. So we're about right there. So I'm going to give it the Play-Doh worm right here. I'm going to put it on the back of my lamp holder. Make sure that it's on the outside. And it's okay if there's some sticks out the back. That way we know at least that it is holding in there nice and tight. So I want to make sure I get that right where it needs to be. Pull this down. Pull it in right there. Now it needs to stay pressed in there. Really, 24 hours is best, or at least overnight. So I'm going to take my clamp, open it up a little bit, go from the back right here, and just kind of snug it up. So once I've snugged this up, I'm going to kind of manipulate this epoxy so that it's a little bit neater, and make sure that we're getting a good seal with that. Now we're going to let this sit overnight, and then we're going to rewire it tomorrow. It's a beautiful lamp. I save these every opportunity that I can. 24 hours has passed. We have our epoxied socket, epoxied to the Humphrey light. So now we've got to get it wired. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to install the switch. So I've already taken my wire strippers. I've stripped the wires, stripped these wires right here. So first thing, I'm going to put this right here on the old off-on switch. You can see right here, on, off. That's where it was originally. And that would just let the gas start running through there. So this just took the nut off. We're going to put the nut back on there, tighten it down, and it should stay right there. That's pretty tight. Now, we've got to use our plug. Now remember, there has to be a hot and there has to be a return. That's why there's black and white here. So the black is hot, the white is the return, and you need to do that with your plug. But looks like there's really no way to figure that out. But the way that you do that is, if you feel on the sides here, one side is smooth and one has a ridge. Probably can't see that, but there's a ridge on this side. That means that's the return. The smooth side is the hot side. So I'm going to take the return, which has the bump on it, and I'm going to put it directly on to the white return. Then I'm going to take the hot and I'm going to put it onto one of the switch. So I'm going to go to, there's two coming out of the switch. So I'm going to wire the power directly to the switch. Then I'm going to take the other end of the switch and run it to the power in on our light. There we go. Now, we can fold all of this right in here, like that. And this is the backing plate from the original Humphrey light. This would have went right onto that 1970 Scotty, and probably just about every Scotty, as long as they were using that. And we can, let's see, we can put this right in here. We'll put just a quick screw in right here just so that you can kind of see what we're doing. All right, got the last screw in there. That's going to have our plate on there nice and tight. There's our switch. Now we can install our little light bulb. This will be plenty of light. It's probably 40 watts. That'll be plenty of light for inside that tiny Scotty. Now we're going to install our Humphrey, and I know you can't see it, but it even says Humphrey on there. We put that up here like that, close it off, then all we have to do is install it over the dinette. Let's see if it works. Hey, how about that? Let's give it a try. There's your typical Scotty Humphrey gas light that we have wired for electricity.